Hello everyone and welcome to Stefan's podcast, and we've got the biggest news coming in from Japan and coming in from Tsushima all across the world. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Our first news story is eating Japanese food makes you less depressed. This is a survey coming out from, you guessed it, Japan. Of course it's going to be Japan that come up with this article. They are the king and queens of marketing, I can tell you that now. So they did a survey of, it was actually quite a few people, 12,500 employees across 5 different companies, all headquartered in Kanto and the Tokai regions. They did it for about 2 years, this survey, so a pretty extensive survey. Of course, they only surveyed Japanese people, so I don't really know how this works, but there we go. So of these people, they found a link between eating more traditional Japanese food and a lower signs of depression, or lower recordings of depression. So they have put out this big survey to say that, look, the more Japanese food you eat, the less depressed you are. And I can tell you, there maybe is a little bit of truth to that, because every time I eat an onigiri, I feel just a little bit happier in my life. But I wouldn't say it's the best food in the world. Do you know what I think this is? This is like a feeling of eating home food, because I'm sure you have this in the UK, you have this in America, wherever you are. It'd be interesting if they surveyed more people about this, but when you have your mum's cooking or a traditional food, you go to a good country pub and they do you something like a shepherd's pie, a traditional British food, something like that, a good old fish and chips, bubble and squeak, I always feel a little bit happier, especially when I wash it down with 6 or 7 pints of beer. That makes me very, very less depressed until the next day. Then I feel very, very, very depressed. I will say this is the most Japanese thing that I've ever seen them do. If it's one thing Japan are getting very good at and have been very good at, is marketing themselves. And this is probably one of my new favorite things, that eating Japanese food makes you less depressed, and you should eat Japanese food, especially in Japan. You should eat it, and it is good. There is one note in the survey, though, that I'm surprised, because they're actually critical of themselves. And who'd have thought the Japanese people, admitting they have something wrong, they say with their diet it lacks two key nutrients or things that you are meant to have in your diet. One of them is dairy, and they also say it lacks a lot of fiber because there is not a lot of fruit in Japanese food. And the reason for that is because the price of fruit in Japan is absolutely astronomically expensive. Oh good lord, if you ever come here you will cry yourself to sleep, especially if you live on a little island like Tsushima. Then double that and cry. I mean, yesterday, in fact I bought fruit yesterday. For 4 apples, I paid 500 yen. These are not big apples. These are pretty small ones. I paid about 200 yen for bananas. I think I got 3 bananas for that. And I won't even go near the grapes, because good lord, I need to take out a mortgage for some grapes. And a pineapple. I always buy a pineapple once a week, because good lord, I love pineapple so much. I love chopping it up and eating it. And let me tell you something, I've given myself so many stomach aches from eating a pineapple whole in one day, just cutting it all up and then just munching on it while I'm watching TV. Oh, pineapple is the fruit that keeps on giving. But that was about 400 yen. In the UK, we're talking 100, 200 yen for a pineapple in Lidl. You go there, you get the cheap pineapple. Life is good, baby. How I miss a Lidl. If I could move one supermarket from the UK, would I move Tesco? If I could move one supermarket from the UK to Japan, in fact, I don't even need the supermarket. I just want the fruit section. Give me the fruit section of a Lidl or even a Tesco if I'm splashing the cash, and I will be a very, very happy boy, let me tell you that. But next news story coming out of the old Nihon is, jobs are down in Japan. If you're searching for a job, apparently job listings and job availability are down across Japan. I think this is also becoming the world as well. I've seen a few countries reporting similar stories, but from June, jobs availability ratio in June fell 0.02 from the previous month. There's no jobs in Japan. There's nothing out there. You're never going to find a job. Good luck. The reason that they are quoting this is a lot of companies are worried about employing people because one of them is the Trump's like taxes that he's putting on every company's his import taxes, so that's affecting people in Japan, especially if you work in manufacturing. AI is one of them. A lot of companies are using AI now and like slimming down some of the roles that they need, and they're just a little bit sort of hesitant to hire people at the moment because they're not sure what to do. If you are, and interestingly enough, in a sector that I thought would be growing, job offers in hotels and restaurants dropped by 2%, and in manufacturing 1.3%. So both interesting places. Hotels I would have thought would be going up because there's so many more people coming to Japan at the moment. Oh Lord, the power! We've been attacked every single time this happens with these lights when I run them off one plug. When will I learn? The power! Help! We've gone dark. The whole room is dark. It's the ghost of Tsushima. He's coming to get me. Come on, light. Let's get you back. Do you know what's the problem with these lights? Once they switch off, they go back to their default setting. So I have to switch them back on. And this one does not want to play. Oh, there we go. Okay. Much better. So where was I? The hotels, I'm surprised, is going down because so many people are coming to Japan at the moment to visit, to see the great, beautiful nation, travel around it. But they do sort of stay in only 4 areas. If you come to Japan, it's tough. Maybe, I remember my first trip, we didn't even leave Tokyo. We left Tokyo for 1 day to go on a bus tour to Mount Fuji, and that was it. And I tell a lot of people who come to Japan, if you come in, don't try and see like 10, 15 places in once. It's too much. I think you pick 2 places and that's it. If you come for 2 weeks, do a week in probably Tokyo, and maybe I would... it's tough because when I first came to Japan, I really did not like Osaka. But I only went to the really, really touristy bit, and it was too busy and I hated it. But I just don't like busy tourist places. But I think a lot of people want to see Kyoto and Osaka, so do a week in Tokyo, then go and get a hotel in either somewhere like the edge of Osaka and Kyoto, and then they are so close. They're only 15 minutes, half an hour on a train to each other. So what you can do is just keep your hotel in one place, because trust me, what you don't want to be doing when you come to Japan is staying in 5 or 6 different hotels, always constantly on the move. You've got your bags. You want to do that once in Japan. So come for 2 weeks, stay 1 week in one hotel, 1 week in another, and then bish bang bosh, you shall have an absolutely lovely time. But if you can, hey, go somewhere rural like Tsushima. For a first trip, Tsushima is not a first trip destination in my opinion. It's a second or third trip destination because it's very, very expensive to get here. Unless you do like an Asia trip where you go to like South Korea first and then you make your way through Tsushima, then I think that's very nice. Then you go to Fukuoka, do a week in Fukuoka, and then maybe do a week in Tokyo or something like that. Very nice trip. Very, 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 very nice trip. But jobs are down. Jobs are down. Good Lord. That's not good. That's not good if you're looking for a job. Very, very sad. And I wish all the best to you because it is a tough market working at the moment with all the AI coming in. It's scary. Very, very scary. It's going to take our jobs. Lovely cup of tea. Okay. Next news story for you is... there's been a lot of festivals going on this week in the summertime. In Tsushima, we just had 2 back-to-back, one weekend and one another weekend. And at one of them, we have a giant fireworks show. And somebody said before the fireworks started, God, Japanese fireworks just last forever. And she was not wrong, because I was sitting there taking pictures. After, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm bored of the fireworks now. Like this, I've seen them all. That's enough. We've done it. And it must have gone on for 20-30 minutes, the fireworks. I was looking at the fireworks in Tsushima just going, that's where all my tax money is going pew, pew, pew in the sky. And I was like, lovely, lovely, good use of taxes there. But it was a nice show. But some of these barges, because what they do is they normally have it out, if you live by the coast, they have a barge in the sea that let them all off. But one of them in Yokohama caught on fire, would you believe it? And there was apparently 20,000 fireworks were scheduled over a 25-minute span in Yokohama. Japanese fireworks is so unbelievably long. They go full out on them. They really do. We'll just wait till drones take over. Then you're going to have a 25-minute fireworks show, then a 25-minute drone show. Oh, it's going to go on and on and on forever. But it caught on fire. It says everyone was rescued, one was taken to hospital with minor injuries, and everybody was safe. So good luck to the people out there. If you are coming to Japan, do go and see a fireworks show, especially if you're here this time of year. If you're here at the moment, there is a lot of these summer festivals going on. Be careful because of the heat at the moment. They are not nice. Try and go when the sun goes down to them. Then you'll have a very, very nice time. But I tried to go to one. It was a 2-day festival. Saturday I went in the evening. That was very nice. And then Sunday I tried to go during the day at about 5 o'clock. And I lasted half an hour and just went, nah, this is too hot, and gave up with it and didn't go back to it because I was just like sweating buckets. But there we go. But if you do get a chance, try to go to these festivals. If you Google the area that you're in at the moment, so I'm sure Tokyo will have loads of these dotted about in different cities or different prefectures. If you like Google the place you're staying and festivals, you might be able to find one. If you try and find the place that you're staying's like tourist board or their Japanese town place, because they will put out all the events that are going on, and I guarantee you they will have some fireworks. If you're out and about, you'll definitely find somewhere to see one of these. And the shows are good. You get like good performers going on. You get to see some interesting traditional Japanese dances. I've got on my Instagram a really good picture of the Japanese dancers with parasols and wearing traditional uniforms. I've got a picture on my fridge of one of the women at the moment at one of the events. Traditional taiko drums was at the event. I'm glad. On my fridge I have all of the misprints from I have a little Canon CP 1500 printers, and they only make pictures about this big, so not very big, but any misprints, because sometimes a bit of dust gets in the thing, the ink runs or something like that happens, I generally put them on my fridge. And I had 2 very minor misprints that luckily enough have gone on there, because they're both really good pictures I took of them. I wish I could have taken more yesterday, but just too hot, absolutely too hot. But there we go. So big firework broke out. Our next news story for you is, oh man, this is fucking insurance. God, I hate insurance so much. They make me want to. They are the worst business in the world. I hate insurance. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. They will do everything they can humanly possible to screw you no matter what. So in the north of Japan at the moment, there have been a lot of bears running about. There's been a lot of bears attacks, and the Japanese government just made it easier so that you can shoot a bear if it is like attacking you. Before it was illegal. You could only like police could shoot bears. It was very, very strict. They have loosened the laws a little bit. I am not entirely versed in them, but it is now much easier if a bear comes a running that you can come a shooting. So the insurance company has offered additional insurance of around 100,000 yen per year for stray bullets for hunters who are shooting around. So this is if it damages your property. So if a bear comes running in to your house or whatever, a mad hunter suddenly starts firing off bullets like he's in a Jason Statham movie. There's bullets everywhere. They will now cover the damage for that. And why would that not be covered under like your normal household insurance thing? This is such a crazy thing. When is this ever going to happen? When is a stray bullet ever going to cause any damage to your home? And what possibly could it be? The chances of this are so astronomically low, it is crazy. But now, in the event that this does happen, the insurance company will go, oh no, I'm sorry, we don't cover that under your normal insurance. You actually have to go and get an additional insurance that will cover that. I hate insurance companies so much. They will do absolutely everything in your power to screw you over. It is the worst. Many years ago, I was in the UK and a lorry crashed into me while I was on the motorway. And the crash wasn't that bad. I wrote off my car. It was not fun. I had to go get a new car and deal with all that. But the worst experience of it all was having to ring up the insurance companies after. They actually sued the lorry driver or whatever. My car was £500. They didn't actually give me any money because they covered the insurance. I'm not joking. About 2-3 years later, I got a letter in the post to say that they were suing the lorry driver so that they could get the money for the insurance. By the way, I didn't see a penny from this because I had just started my new insurance. If you crash like right at the beginning of your insurance thing, you still have to pay for the whole year's coverage, even if someone else has crashed into you. The same cost of my insurance was the same cost of my car. So I came out, I think I ended up getting like £75 for it, and that was it. And they dragged that lorry driver through the courts for years. This lasted absolutely years for them doing this. And I was like, this is the most stupid thing in the world. And I just remember thinking, I am so glad this wasn't my fault, because the insurance companies just make it an absolute nightmare. And the funniest thing about this was the guy's name. He was Romanian, and his name was Santa Sorry, and it was Christmas time. So he first, like, we crashed, and at the end of it, I'm like, oh, sorry, dude, what's your name? And he's like, sorry. And I was like, no, we're all good, mate. Don't worry about it. These things happen. What's your name? He's like, sorry. And I was like, no. I was like, come on, dude, what's your name? And then he shows me his ID card. And it says Santa Sorry, and I was like, "You are fucking kidding me!" And I was like, "Santa Sorry at Christmas?" And he's like, "Don't even." And I was like, "Well, okay." I was like, "See you later. Goodbye, Santa. Goodbye." But our next news story coming up for you. Oh, speaking of all these concerts and everything going around at the moment, Mrs. Green Apple, a great band, great Japanese band. My favorite song is Dancehall. Love it. They have had a concert complaint of over 15 kilometers away. That is so unbelievably loud and far. That is amazing that they did this, and this is very anti-Japanese, and I love it. So they had a concert recently, and they got noise complaints from 15 kilometers away. For yous Americans out there, that is getting maybe 9 kilometers. Yeah, it would be about 9. It would be something weird like 9.6 kilometers, some very weird number like that. Sorry, it would be 9.6 miles, something like that, some weird number like that. They're getting noise complaints from that. You get a noise complaint from 10 miles away. God damn, that is a good show, and I want to go to that. This is actually more of an advertisement for Mrs. Green Apple than anything else. But yeah, Mrs. Green Apple, they got a noise complaint from 10 kilometers away. That is absolutely amazing. In fact, there's some comments here that saying that one of the lead vocalists was diagnosed with hearing loss about a year ago. So that is funny. That is very, very, very funny. A lot of people here in the comments complaining about Mrs. Green Apple because they are played a lot in Japan. I'm not gonna lie, they are in a lot of places. All of my work events, the shows that all the students do, if there's any a dance to it, 9 out of 10 times it is a Mrs. Green Apple song, because they are prolific in Japan. I think if I was to say who is Japan's biggest artist at the moment, I'd say Mrs. Green Apple. I think. Would you agree? I'm not down with the kids, so I don't know what all my students listen to, but every time I say Mrs. Green Apple, when I'm asked what music they like, they're like, "Oh, Mrs. Green Apple, nice, yeah, they are good." But that's Mrs. Green Apple for you. Next news story is Tamagotchi. Am I saying them wrong? Because Tamagotchi. Yeah, no, Tamagotchi. Tamagotchi are back, and they are in freaking power, baby. So Tamagotchi nears 100 million in sales and is making a comeback after their 30th year anniversary, baby. So they released a new model in July, and they are very, very popular around people in their 20s and 30s, because what's happening now, people my age who have kids, they are now buying one for their kids and buying one for themselves and playing it. Funny enough, I said this to my girlfriend recently about Tamagotchis are back, and she was like, "Oh, do you want one?" And I was like, "No. I don't want a Tamagotchi." I was like, "That's far too much responsibility. I do not need the heartbreak of seeing that die again. That would be far too emotional for me. I'd break down in tears and just give up on my life if my pet Tamagotchi died now. If I couldn't even look after a Tamagotchi now, then good Lord, what a sadness that would be." But they're coming back. I do like a Tamagotchi. They're very, very fun, very simple little game thing, aren't they? I think everyone should get a chance to play with them. So I'm glad they're coming back. It's nice as well with everything that we've got. I think we spend too much time on our smartphones, so it's nice to use something that isn't a smartphone, even though it's a game. Great. Tamagotchis are back, baby. It's 100 million in sales. Ooh, baby, I would love to be that company. That is Bandai-ko. Bandai-ko are very big in Japan. They make a lot of things. But let's have a fun news story before I get into some of the not fun ones. A Japan railway firm is encouraging drivers to wear sunglasses for its safety, baby. Ooh, Japanese drivers are getting on the shades in traditionally a place where they don't like sunglasses. Japan's a bit funny about wearing sunglasses. There's a bit of a stigma to wearing them. They still seem to think that they are linked with the Yakuza, a few very, very small places. Nothing that's going to affect you. If you come to Japan, just wear sunglasses, don't worry. In fact, I'm going to give you the best advice that I think someone who's lived here in Japan for 3 years. Don't worry about all the very, very minute rules that Japan have for themselves. You're coming here on a holiday. You don't have to follow. You don't have to worry about all these rules. Like this one here. You know, Japanese people don't always wear sunglasses because of like the Yakuza. These don't apply to you. These are for like business meetings, Japanese things. You're working in a Japanese company. These things don't apply to you, because every time one of my friends comes to Japan, they're like, "Hey, do I need to worry about this? Do I need to worry about this? Do I need to worry about this?" I'm like, just be a normal human being, be kind, and you will be fine. You don't have to follow every single one of these YouTubers put out all these different like rules. Don't do this in Japan. Don't do this in Japan. Don't walk and eat while you're in Japan. You will be fine. I walk and eat all the time. I've seen Japanese people walk and eat all the time. These rules don't apply to you. They're almost like, you know how the royal family have their set rules. If the royal family, if we applied every single rule that used to apply to the Queen and went out and did that and told Japanese people don't do this in the UK, it's the same when everyone else doesn't. Don't worry about it. But it's nice to see a little bit of common sense. So the reason that they are telling their Japanese drivers to wear sunglasses is apparently it drops eye fatigue by something like 90%, which is amazing. They said they can see better, there's less eye fatigue, and especially the Japanese sun, good Lord. If you are doing a driving job, definitely you need glasses. I mean, in my camera sometimes, it gets so bright that my camera struggles to take pictures with it. I have to turn down all of the settings to I have to set the shutter speed to very, very high, and I have to set the aperture to although it's as wide as possible, which you'd think would make, hang on, I need to think about this. Yeah, I have to change the aperture to the low number or the high number. I've set it to a high number, and then I also have to, my ISO is at the lowest that it can go. The lowest, is it? It's crazy. Absolute highest? Yeah, lowest. Yes. Cameras, they're confusing. But sometimes I found it really, really bright to take pictures, especially if I'm at work and taking pictures for work. The sports fields that we have are like sand, and they are white sand. So that bouncing off of the white sun here just makes it very, very difficult. I carry sunglasses everywhere I go at work, and no one has said everything to me. I have maybe had some small comments about it when I'm outside, but normally it's more like, ooh, kakoin, that you are very cool for wearing sunglasses. But sunglasses in Japan, just wear them, don't be stupid. Next news story for you is about no more living expenses for PhD students. So Japan is becoming like a lot of the world. This isn't just Japan at the moment. There is a lot. The UK is the same. America is becoming the same. A lot of like everything is becoming harder for foreigners. This is becoming a thing. So the Japan Education Ministry is okaying plans to exclude foreign PhD students from living expenses and stays. So the Japanese Education Ministry has celebrated July 30th by approving a plan to limit the recipients on receiving living expensive aid for PhD students to be implemented. This is not a very well written article, but they are saying that if you are a foreigner coming to Japan and you apply for some of these living grants, and some of them are pretty tasty as well, the grants that you can get, there's up to like $20,000, so very, very good, enough to live on, certainly. But they are making it harder because they're getting a lot more Chinese national making the numbers off a lot of these people applying for them, and they want the money to stay in Japan. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I think if you are coming to Japan to study, they're taking your university fees, you should have the same opportunity to grants as everyone else in the world. Understand limiting them to maybe a certain amount and saying, these are for our Japanese people, but to exclude everyone from it, not a fan of that. But there we go. And I will say, not the best written article in the world. It took me a while to make sense of that. But next, this is a funny story. So if you work in Japan in the schools, you will see that elementary schools have a very different backpack to people across the world. They have these very small leather backpacks, and they are almost like a square leather backpack, and they are very, very, very expensive. They are like these traditional backpacks that they wear here, and they can cost up to, I've seen some for like $1,000, $2,000. They really, really do get up in price. Especially, you can get branded ones as well. I'm trying to remember if it's someone like Louis Vuitton, or Chanel. Some very big company made a branded one of these, so you add even more to that price. And what will happen is grandparents will gift these to their grandchildren to say, like, study, you better fucking study because it's £1,000 backpack. But all of my students have them. I haven't seen one elementary school student without them. I think a lot of times they get passed down, and I hope they do. I have seen in Second Street, you can buy them for cheaper. The ones that I saw in Second Street, I think were about 10,000 yen. So, still $100 for a backpack, but it's just absolutely for a brand new one, they are ludicrously priced. But a new elected official recently went to work on his first day and brought one of these black leather backpacks, and the news was like, "Oh, why have you got one of the elementary school backpacks?" And he actually very cleverly said, was like, "Oh, it's like I'm a first grade student, and this is my first day, and that's why I've brought these backpacks." They are called randorsuru backpacks. They're very, very common. If you see the little elementary school students walking around with them, you will see them with these great backpacks, and they can be like double the size of some of the students. They are far too big for them, and you see them like waddling around with these huge loads on their back. It's funny Japan. This is one of, like, I consider these backpacks to be the biggest scam in the world, and these like how do you say, like a traditional scam, like, oh, everyone does this, so I have to go and buy my, and Japan are very, very good with, oh, he's doing it, so I must buy it. Everyone else is wearing these backpacks, so I also have to go and buy my son this $500-600 backpack, which he will use for 3 or 4 years. It's just a bag, and then it will get left in the cupboard. And I was like thinking about this. Let's say I have children here in Japan. Would I go out and buy one of these backpacks? I would find it so hard to do it, but I don't want to. I don't want to. And maybe I want to break the mold and put them in just with force. You're British. You're not going in with one of the backpacks because they're stupid. And then when they say, "Oh, how come you didn't have one of the backpacks?" Because I'm not an idiot and I don't spend $700 on a backpack for a 5-6-year-old who realistically isn't even going to know what's going on. Let's be real. I remember can you even remember your elementary school? I remember, out of all the times I spent in my elementary school, I remember about 5 or 6 days, and that's it. I couldn't even tell you what color backpack I had. And in fact, that's going to be a great thing. I'm going to ask some of my Japanese friends what color was their elementary school backpack and see if they remember it. They probably will, because there's such a big thing like in the Japanese culture about the backpacks and how expensive they are. They might remember what color their elementary school backpack was. Do you? Do you remember what color your elementary school backpack was? I imagine it was probably black or blue. Maybe a Power Ranger one. Don't know. Honestly, the backpacks, they drive me insane. Coming out of Japan, we have a man who's just been acquitted for a 1986 schoolgirl murder. He was in prison for 7 years and the conviction has been overturned. This also comes off the back. Recently, there was another man who was falsely accused and he was in prison for something like 52 years here. I've said it once, I've said it twice, and I will constantly say it again. Behave in Japan, because they are very, very quick to lock you away and throw away the key. Their due process and everything like that is not particularly good. I mean, this is the country that can, before you even get accused of a crime, before they charge you with a crime, they can keep you in prison for something like 30 days just for questioning. So just remember, before getting to that brawl, you're having a drink, someone's, being a bit loud, you're thinking, right, let's do some fisticuffs. You can just be held for 30 days for questioning. That's before they charge you, by the way. So you add that on top and, oh, baby, you're going to be in jail for forever and a day. They'll keep you there. So, honestly, try and you stay away from every bad situation if you come to Japan. This is one of the worst things about it is they do not mess around and you will sit in prison for a very nice time. And Japanese prisons, not particularly nice. Apparently the food's good though. That's all I've heard. Of course, traditional Japanese food lowers depression. That's why. Maybe the Japanese prison are happy because they only eat traditional Japanese food. From what I've seen, it's very similar to like kushoku lunch. So that's all mainly traditional Japanese food. It's like 90. Pretty much, like 9 out of 10s is traditional Japanese food. Very occasionally they like to mix it up. We occasionally get the odd like burger or something, but yeah. Oh, pasta. But even that's normally like the Japanese spin on it. They do Japanese Napolitan, which I don't particularly like very much, but there we go. And I used to hate when it was that day because it used to be pasta and bread. I would eat that and then have such like a carb, like a sugar dump, a carb dump, whatever you want to call it, carb overload. I'll be sitting at my desk like 10 minutes later, just falling asleep, just being like, oh my God, just send me home. I need to sleep now. But yeah. Japanese in their crime, they're not good. And we have another news story for you. Reading is down throughout Japan, and I think it will be throughout the world. Less people are reading books, even in a country that focuses on education. You know why it is. That everyone has tablets, everyone has their phone. You have to pay to go and get a book. Which I think people are getting less used to doing because we get everything for free now. You get to watch YouTube videos for free. And I think the idea of someone out and going and spending 2,000-3,000 yen on a book, they're like, what? I don't want to do that. And also, people have less disposable income to do this. So that's a thing. And you're just used to watching videos, TikToks, and you don't even, you put TikTok's on or YouTube Shorts, and bang, it's like 30 minutes have gone, and you're like, hang on, I haven't even watched anything. At least when you watch a TV episode, there's a start, there's a middle, there's a beginning, there's a whole story told. But in the shorts, you just get these like 1 minute stories, and none of them are particularly interesting. Really, my goal for this rest of this year is to watch less TikToks and less shorts. I make them, but I try and feel like my ones, they have a start, they have an end. There's a story to most of them. There's an interesting fact. I give you the interesting fact, and that's it. It gives you a touch into it. But some of the ones I watch is just like very, very small. Cut clips from podcasts, you get like half a story from everything. They're like these 2 minutes things. You see someone laugh, you see the funny bit, and you're like, that was interesting. But there we go. TikToks, shorts. That's why I'm trying to focus more on longer videos at the moment. That's my goal for this year. Make you more longer ones. But okay. Next news story is is my mouse not working again? Oh man, this sucks. If you go to Hyogo Prefecture in a town called Fukusaki, there are loads of these yokai statues around, and they have loads and loads of them about. The most famous one is they have a red kappa inside a lake there, and they are removing that at the moment because apparently it's very, very worn out, and they need to do some maintenance to it. And they're putting in a new statue. But oh man, when you think of like very famous images of Japan, that is one of them, this Kappa statue. So I'm very sad that that's being changed. They had to raise about 1.7 million yen, which is about $11,000. Oh my god, the exchange rate is so bad at the moment. And they are they're putting a new one in, and I'm glad they're putting a new one in, because really this is really nice from that town. I really, really want to go to this town to go and see all these yokai statues. I think it's a very good thing to bring tourists in. I think without this, because it's not in a particularly easy place to get to, Hyogo. It's about, I think, 2 hours away from Osaka, something like that. It's about an hour, 2 hours away from Osaka, and it's sort of awkward to get to. It's not quite on a main town. It's not too far away. It can be done, but I really want to go and see all these statues on my bucket list. But every time I go to like Osaka or Kyoto, I'm always like, 2-3 hours just to see some statues, especially in summer. This is a not when you're going to die of heat exhaustion place to go, because you're going to be outside looking at all these statues. But I want to go to it so bad. I want to see all the statues. They've got some really cool ones. They are very, very cool. I am more excited to go. I would rather go and see these statues than go to Disneyland, or what's the other one? Disneyland or Universal Studios, which a lot of people say is great. I hate theme parks so much. I really do. I hate them with a passion. Everything about you is designed to take money off you, and you stand in line for ages, and I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I hate theme parks. Everything about them, I hate them. But I think we have one more news story here, or is that it? Oh, the Mount Fuji. Many people climbing Mount Fuji at the moment, and it's recently opened up. It's the time to do it. It's the season. You can go and spend your money and climb Mount Fuji with everyone else in the world. It's a good climb. People say that they like to do it. I think it's become a little bit over tourism. Just too many people doing it at the moment. But hey ho. The first death has come from climbing it at the moment. The man was 75 years old, so don't worry if you're climbing it. You're probably going to be fine. Hope so. But he had a heart attack when climbing it, and obviously you're so far up in the mountains up there. If something happens to you, you're just so remote that bad things are going to happen to you. They do get a lot of air rescues up there, so they do send, like air ambulances up to the thing. I presume they probably would have done something like that for him, but unfortunately he passed away. So if you are climbing up Mount Fuji, be careful. It's not for the weak-hearted. It's very, very not. It's dangerous thing. You got to be strong and fit to do it. And this is why I always say, if you're going to climb something like Mount Fuji, do it while you're young. Don't put it off when you're an old man. Will I ever climb Mount Fuji? Maybe. If I was going with a group, I would do it. I wouldn't do it on my own. I've seen the pictures of there just being thousands of people going up and climbing it. I just think, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be around a million other people. The stick thing as well, I talked about this last week. I'll never understand how grown people cannot realize that is the most tackiest shit ever. Going to buy a stick and having it branded by every single person going up, and you pay like 1,000 yen for every single like thing on your stick, and you come out after climbing it and stopping at all these places and being like, I just paid $400 for my stick. I'm going to post it back to America now. I'm going to post it back to the UK, which is going to cost me an additional $500 for my stick, which is going to stay in a corner and do nothing. I'll never understand it. I'll never understand some people. The thing that people spend money on doesn't make any sense to me. But that is pretty much it for news, what's been going on with me at the moment. I did a little bit of snorkeling this weekend. I managed to go out twice, had some lovely time. Had a nice weekend with all the festival stuff going on. It's been very sunny here, a little bit too hot. I've been making videos, a lot more vlogs recently that I think have been fun. I'm getting back into doing those. I found actually the best camera for filming vlogs actually is the GoPro, believe it or not. If you go and get, I was really surprised with the GoPro and media set bundle, putting those together, how good that little microphone is on it. A second best is using the GoPro and this little, these little Hollyland wireless microphones. You put them together and it's very good. I found recently, when you go out and bring like this big DSLR camera, which I bring everywhere with me for photography, the image quality on this is much better, but it's much nicer just carrying that tiny little camera around and just switching it on, saying your stuff, and not having to go through as many settings as you do with this camera. It's just nice, just going out, clicking it, record, and just being like, oh man, this is easy. I can take it when I run. GoPros. Actually, if I was starting again a YouTube channel, the first thing I ever went for was DSLR cameras, and I got really into photography from it. But if I was starting again, I'm not interested in photography, I would go and get a new GoPro, or I've heard the DJI action cameras are very good. I'd go and get one of those, I'd sling on a wireless microphone, and then you are very set up, very set up. You don't need this huge camera system that I've got going around. Don't need to spend as much money on it. GoPro, go for your first camera, go get yourself a little GoPro and try out with that and see how you get on, because they are so good at filming 99% of everything that you can do. You know, you can go film in a car, it's very easy. You can go running with it, you can go snorkeling with it. A DSLR is a very good camera. They are fantastic for higher end stuff, but for YouTube now, just go get yourself a GoPro. You will save yourself a lot of aggro, and especially now, some of the GoPro, my one actually is prone to overheating, which is annoying, but for most of the things, if you look at the newer ones, I think they are less prone to it. So I am very glad I got a GoPro. I bought it almost like on a whim. I was just in a second-hand store and I saw one in there, and I thought, you know what? It would be nice to go snorkeling and go and get one, and they are great. What I do is I have a long like selfie stick, and it's got a screw mount on the end of it, and what I do is I have a little stand with that and I screw that in, and you can use that in a lot of places. The only problem with it is if it's windy, it's not sturdy enough, so it does wobble in the wind a little bit. I want to try and find a solution to that next time I go onto the mainland, just something that is as strong as that, can get as high as that, and doesn't blow around in the wind, because not having to carry around a million things is very nice. Also with GoPro, you have to carry all of those little like sticky attachments, and the screw mounts get everywhere, so that is annoying. But yeah, really good. I am very converted with a little GoPro, a little good quality action camera. They are very, very nice. The only thing that I've found with it is actually it's too strong, because it can film in, 5.3K, and my computer generally does not have enough RAM to do it. I've even upgraded it. I went up to 32 gigabytes of RAM, and it's so painfully slow to edit on it. I have to put my preview in some of the lowest settings. It is, oh baby, it's tough. It's tough doing that. It really, really is. I am not a giant fan of the extra quality on my PC, but I guess that's where you get into becoming like a paid YouTuber, so then you can put more money into a PC. I feel like I've put too much money into this hobby already. I bought cameras, all the equipment, so always feels like there is something else to buy with it. It's probably one of the most expensive hobbies in the world. Cameras. Yeah, cameras. What else? I know golf can be a little bit crazy. You go and get all of the separate golfing clubs, and those prices just go up and up and up and up, and you lose balls, and going to the range and stuff isn't particularly cheap. What else is a hobby that is expensive? Most of the other ones aren't too bad, like tennis. Yeah, tennis can be. Should we have a look while we're here? What are the most expensive hobbies? Should we look? What are the most expensive hobbies? Cameras have got to be. I'll be surprised if they're not on top. Oh, diving. So diving was on the list. That definitely is expensive. Yachting. Oh yeah, anything to do with boats. Someone's put on here drugs. That's funny. That would put your thing up. Skiing can be quite expensive. Parachuting. Cycling. That's interesting. I thought I know bikes are expensive, but oh come on, someone put cheese on here. That's just stupid. Cheese and wine, bloody stupid. Horses, yeah, you got to keep an animal alive. You got all those vet bills. That is not a cheap hobby, baby. That will drain your money. Photography, yep, is third on here. Legos comes down as an expensive hobby. Yeah, they are not cheap. Music is one of them, I guess. Yeah, I would say photography is more expensive. Really, someone put Dungeons and Dragons is on here as one, and I guess once you go out, it's not all cheap. All the stuff. I remember us pitching in for a D&D thing. Cars, yeah, you get some expensive cars. Fish, fish time consuming. I guess you go out and buy all the fish. Crocheting is down as an expensive hobby. And scuba diving has made the list at 10. I will say, this is like a BuzzFeed article, so this is not the height of journalism, really, really not. I would put scuba diving can be expensive. You got to get to the place, you got to rent your equipment, you got to get it tested all the time. It's not overly cheap. That's why I like to go snorkeling instead, because the nice thing about snorkeling is once you buy the stuff, it does last a long time. Like I think I spent 4,000 yen, which is like $30 on my snorkeling equipment. I would have liked longer fins. My fins are very, very short, and I also don't like the dump valve that they have on my snorkel. But it's been the most rewarding, like 3,000 or 4,000 yen that I've spent going around Tsushima, because I've used it, got to be 20 times over the 2 or 3 years that I've been here. I've gone out with loads of different people. It's very nice to do it. It's a very, 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 very relaxing hobby as well. Once I get in the sea, I'm like, oh, this is nice. Every time I get in the sea, I say, oh, I should do this more. And then what happens is summer goes like that, and I'm like, oh my god, it's the end of summer. I've missed my snorkeling season. Or we just get days like today where the weather is bad or it's too windy. Like today, I couldn't go snorkeling because the wind is very, very bad. But yeah, summer goes like that, doesn't it? Just disappears, really, really disappears. And I dare to say it, we've got a month left of actual summer vacation. I think I'll be lucky if I can get in the water 4 or 5 more times. And this is like the middle of summer. It goes so quickly, but there we go. That is going to be the end of our podcast for today. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. I wish you the best. Be sure to like and subscribe if you made this far. I will be back again very, very soon. I am trying to work out a schedule for the podcast videos, and I'm going to try and stick to it very soon. I shall have a think about it, and I shall let you know. I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye.